Once there was a time when games had soul, games had character. It wasn't all about graphics, it wasn't all about capitalism. It was about experimenting. It was about fun and learning. All we have left now are the nostalgia of the times we all loved. But we still remember the music, and the music was the force in them all.
This is my house. This is where I keep the Wii U, the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation and the OnLive console. Over here is where I keep my stock that I'm trying to sell. In here, front room of the house, this is where I keep a few consoles downstairs and controllers such as all my GameCube controllers, adapters, and Mega Drive. Some more controllers and another N64. In here there's usually a Dreamcast, in here there's usually a NES, but they're both being modded at the moment by Elliot. But this is the room you actually want to see, and it's a total mess at the moment because the wife put a few things in here to get them out of the way, and this is why I need a retro gaming caravan, because there's now no room for anything. Got some stock up here as well, which is getting in the way of my personal collection. So I thought I'd do one last viewing via camcorder before I start dismantling it in the next couple of days. Because photos just don't do this justice. Love this game in Attic, but now that I've been building the caravan, I think the caravan's going to be about 100 times better. Not only more practical, but a lot more roomy, a lot more fun. As you can see in here, I don't actually have any room to sit down anymore. I used to have 4 beanbag chairs up here, but now all I've got is consoles on the floor, games and some stock and all sorts of things blocking the way, so I can't really get up here and enjoy it properly anymore. My brother's been fantastic. He's been helping me 6 days on the trot now. Couldn't have done it without him. He's got brilliant DIY and great tools as well. So it's got to the point now where I need to start moving this stuff down there as we build, because I have a feeling that if I don't, we're going to overlook a couple of things that we should have built For example, today I realised that we haven't really built anything to accommodate these big LTAC speakers, which are really good. And when hooked up to this amp here, this 7.1 amp, they make such decent noise, you know, decent bass. Not that many things use 7.1, but never mind, maybe in the future. Probably wondering why I've got a few Xboxes on top of each other, 2 PlayStations on top of each other. They're both networked to each other so that you can play the old school PlayStation 1 network games like Gran Turismo and whatever else they released. I was going to do the same thing with the Saturns as well. I think it's one of the Daytonas you can link up. But I thought this film would give you a better idea of what the gaming attic was before I pull it down. And I'm not gutted about pulling it down anymore because the caravan's coming along so nicely that I actually can't wait to start putting all this stuff on all the shelves we've made. I also need to start taking things like these funky shelves down so that we can find some space to hang them up before we end up building scrap shelves and there's no room for them anymore, because I definitely want to make use of them. You see, I've got quite a lot of games now and I can't really stack or display them properly anymore because there's too many. And to be fair, a lot of these cartridges aren't in the box, so I probably could have saved a bit of room if I'd started putting them in the boxes. Yes, that is a bad fur day. Although this bit's a little bit ruffled, the rest of the box is absolutely mint, so I've been really happy that all you gamers have been claiming that this game fetches such ridiculous prices. I personally don't think they're worth as much as people say. I think the market's become incredibly overinflated recently, but when you actually own most of the stuff, then it's not much to complain about, really. Most of the collections that have increased over the last year, especially since joining Game Gear Gaming, is mainly my NES collection, which actually has halved because I did actually have boxes full of games I bought from America, but I managed to sell an absolute load of them in one go. And it kept a lot of the good ones. I made my money back handsome, so I might just hang on to what's left, unless the offers are decent. Few people don't seem to collect the big box PC games, but that's something I've started doing, mainly for the games that I've got a personal attachment to, the ones we had in the mid-90s when we were growing up, like Worms and Reinforcements, Carmageddon, Scarab, which most of you don't seem to know about, but I think is an absolutely amazing game. Came out the same time as Doom, but instead of using sprites it had proper polygons and arena-based combat, and it was one of the most addictive games I've ever played. Big Egyptian mech robots in big Egyptian arenas. The other collection that's grown a lot is my Wii collection. I thought I'd get these now because the Wii is probably never going to be as cheap as it is now, and you can still find tons of sealed games. They might never go up seriously in price, but it's hardly a financial risk buying them because some of them are bought for absolute next to nothing. So they haven't really set me back a lot. The main reason for filming this video, like I said, is because I'm on the verge of taking it all apart. There's one of my little signed memorabilia. Darth Vader signed this TIE Fighter. New Retron console, which I've only opened recently. It's amazing, I've had this for such a long time. In fact, I had loads of these in stock, but because I was thinking of selling them, I decided not to open them for a while. But as this was my last one in stock, I thought I'm going to keep one of them, and I would never regret buying one of these. I think they're brilliant. They're not like a lot of the other emulator on the chip consoles that give you really poor sound or funny graphical glitches. This one seems to do a brilliant job. I think that a few games that didn't seem to boot up, but that could be the actual cartridges themselves. I haven't really got to the bottom of it yet. What I am looking forward to, as you can see, these boxes here are just piled on top of each other, and although you can see kind of what they are, and likewise the Mega CD games got to the point where you just hiding games behind games, and I don't like that. I like to be able to see everything I've got. So that's another brilliant thing about the gaming caravan, is that I'm going to be able to see every single game, every single console and box, and I'm going to be able to get to all of them really easily and really quickly. A few of you might recognise some of this stuff as the ones you sold me. Brilliant. And I think I've probably, within a year, I mean I've had a lot of this stuff for a long time, since I was 16, but I think within the last couple of years, especially since joining GGG, that I've safely to say doubled my collection, maybe tripled. And as well as having contacts in America and Japan, where I've been able to cheaply ship stuff over by sending it in bulk. It's taken the sting out of importing some things like the Virtual Boy, for example, which is way overpriced by the time it gets here and is bunged on eBay. See, I've got desperate, got to the point where I was mounting cupboard doors with glass onto the ceiling so that I could display a few more consoles. Most of these are early cartridge consoles or Pong consoles. To be honest, with these, although I do collect them, I collect them at a really stingy price. I never pay a lot of money for the Pongs, because most of them are exactly the same as each other, just different shells. Some of them are identical components inside. It's hard to see this one, but it's actually PC Engine Shuttle, which is one of my favourites and not displayed in the best place. This keyboard thing here is a family clone, and it's also programmable, and I found that and couldn't believe it actually when I got home, what a cool thing it was. SNES 2. I've got the Micro Genesis, which I actually bought in a Mega Drive box, opened it up, and it wasn't a Mega Drive in it, there was this Micro Genesis family clone in it. Discovered it was worth about 70 quid plus or whatever. And there's Alan Sugar's failure console, but still one of the best case designs of any. There's a PC Engine in there. And this one's called the Terminator 4 or something like that. Family clone console. I think I've covered pretty much everything in this room. There's one of my favourites that I got recently, and you probably all remember the auction for the Scorpion 16. Quite a bit smaller than the Mega Drive. I wasn't expecting it to be so much smaller. I'll take some photos for comparison later. Here we've got consoles on top of consoles. Two different versions. Yes, I do have a few multiple versions of what seem to be the same console, but here one's Japanese, one's American. You can see differences. I think it might be a bit sad to collect different consoles for slight differences, but you know, I've started now, so I might as well carry on. The shade of blue's different on them as well, which I didn't realise. And I didn't realise a lot of other little things, like the TurboGrafx American version is quite different looking to the PAL version, which I never knew before I got them both side by side. Love that one. It's actually a family clone, but it looks just like a Mega Drive 2. Casio Loopy. Saw the PS2, Coleco Gemini wedged under there. So you can see why I desperately need to put these in the caravan, because there's just no room to see and appreciate them properly. I shouldn't have to be moving these out the way. So you can see that, the Coleco Gemini and the Sharp Famicom Twin, which I absolutely love the look of. I did actually have a red one, but it seems to have gotten lost on the way here in the mail. Mattel Hyperscan, infamous failure. And there's some kind of Wii clone, but with 16-bit SNES style graphics. I really love the case design, like round ball. If I ever find another one, I'm going to gut it and put it into something else inside it, because I love the case so much. More family clones, and that again. Genuine PlayStations. Same again, if that one's lid ever opens, there we go. Different to each other, only slightly though, basically the same thing. Funny how you have to pop a CD lid to put a cartridge in. It's amazing how many family clone consoles are like that. Another Wii there, I've got loads of those at the moment. Super Famicom. Famicom with an AV mod on it. And this, which I was glad to realise had quite a decent value to it boxed, and I managed to pick it up for a couple of quid the other day. Anyway, that's everything I think is worth looking at. Dreamcast karaoke system, V64, PlayStation with screen, orange GameCube at the back there, Neo Geo CD, Philips CDI, another Philips CDI, still need a few versions of the CDIs, Genesis 3, another CD32, Panasonic 3DO, Neo Geo CD and Atari Jaguar. Would really love the CD adapter for the